Hey, this is Reese Scruggs from Havoc.
This is Alex from Lisa Eyes.
Hi, this is Dan from Windfaerer.
This is Tyler from Begat the Nephilim.
This is Samuel from Animal, and you're listening to the Great Metal Debate Podcast.
Metal fans, the podcast returns with another metal artist interview. I'm joined by the New Jersey blackened folk metal culprits, Windfaerer. Guys, welcome to the Great Metal Debate.
Thank you for having us on. Thanks for having us.
Well, we're talking to you here at the Mag Bar in Louisville, Kentucky, at the midpoint of a week-long run through the Midwest and Northeast. First, how did this mini tour come about?
Well, it kind of started when we met Ancalagon out in Virginia. And we did a show right afterwards in the Meat Locker in Jersey. And we dropped this album out, Alma, last in September. And we were just like, let's do a tour supporting it. And we said, hey, let's do it with Ancalagon because they obviously
close to us. And, they, we love those guys and their style. And it just jives really well together with us. And they're really great guys. So...
They're out of New York, is that correct?
Yeah, Rochester, New York.
How did you first meet those guys on the road?
Yeah, it all started when we went to go play in Chesapeake, Virginia, and they had a tour going, and we just jumped on 2 dates with them. That's how we met them. So.
And is that one of those things where it's not just the music, but also personality-wise, you guys clicked?
Totally. Totally.
Yeah, it was just the vibe was good with them, and we just got along great, and then opportunity came for us to again just do a week-long run on ourselves, and they jumped on with us, so we couldn't be happier.
And you've also got a few dates here with our friends, Northern Kentucky pagan metal horde Winter Hymn. Have you played with those guys before?
Yeah, actually we have. In 2012, we played with them in Jersey, in Newark, and that was a fun time. And we always kind of like distantly kept in touch, and after that, we played with them. We reunited at the Maryland Folk Metal Fest down in Baltimore, and we rekindled our relationship in a sort of way. And they're just we just kept in touch from then on. And the drummer Chris, we just
who's in a bunch of bands.
Yeah, Cryptic him as well, and Stonecutters.
Different band every day.
Yeah, so we just kept in touch with him and just decided to get Winter Hymn on board for a couple of dates.
Well, since this is the first time we've had you guys on the podcast, I wonder if you could give us a thumbnail sketch of how the band Windfaerer came to be.
Started in 2009, around then, with the first demo, Glory Bound. Wanted to do something pagan, melodic, and Viking metal inspired, with the likes of Bathory, Falkenbach, Moonsorrow, and Seaferum, and Mago de Oz from Spain. Kind of wanted to incorporate traditional instrumentation with fast metal riffing, and just look to tell ancestral stories. And from then on, we ran into contact with Ben, the violinist, who plays electric violin, and he added a whole new dimension to the sound, besides just folk instrumentation. And from then on, over time, we developed, and we have a full lineup now of actually 5 contributing members. Another guitar player with Itai, and Mike on bass, and James plays on drums, and not just me and Ben playing. Everything.
We're the pretty much the core members of Windfaerer. They kind of wrote everything and put everything together, and then when me, Itai, and James kind of came on board, we kind of filled the hole, I would say, that was missing.
Brought our little vibe with us too, and compose, and this latest album, Alma, is the first one where we also contributed material and worked together as a group.
Yeah, it was a full band effort, this latest release. Everything prior was just more Mike and Ben were pretty much the sole songwriters. And this time around, everybody, it was a more collaborative effort this time.
Do you feel like the band is now more what you envisioned at the beginning, or is it just kind of naturally evolved without any planning?
It's definitely a natural evolution. No planning whatsoever. It's more just see where the wind takes us in a way. Yeah, just kind of like we're just kind of like look at it kind of like we're just just on a ship in the middle of the ocean, just on a journey, just seeing where it takes us. Picking up influences along the way. We're always influenced by things we listen to and just our life experiences as well.
I'm always interested about that, the backgrounds. Did any of you guys receive any formal training, or did you grow up in musical households? How did you come to the point that you'd even be interested in being in a band?
I believe we have two musicians in our band. Ben and James are trained musicians. Ben went to Montclair State University, and James is a Berkeley graduate. James, our drummer, but I know me, Mike, and James are self-taught. Itai, but the actual musicians of the band are Ben and James.
I've heard your music. I think you guys are all musicians, so I'm impressed. So you all have already mentioned your latest album, Alma, released just this September. First, tell me a little about the material. Kind of what were you guys trying to accomplish musically?
I think first we had a vision of kind of taking what we've done in the past to a new level of the collaboration and the inspiration, letting it kind of culminate even with more directions, into new directions. And the important piece of it was also the sound. We were really looking for a clear and booming sound, and so we turned to Backroom Studios out in Rockaway, New Jersey. A man I worked with before, Kevin Intresian, and we knew that he would help us find that sound, and to me that was very important, and I think we're very happy with the final result.
Did all these songs kind of come together in one writing process, or had they been something that had been evolving and that you've been playing some of these songs for some time?
Yeah, it took a while to kind of put together. We all had individually different ideas, and we put together different demos, and over time we kind of sat together in different sessions and refined it, kind of cut parts, and really took the best of what we thought worked. And
for the most part, we kind of wrote skeletons of songs at home through the means of home recordings. It's so much easier to do it that way. So we each kind of just put together a bunch of ideas, make a skeleton of a song, and then we present it to the group, and then we build off of that. So
you guys live fairly close where you can get together and jam it out, or you like some of the bands these days where you're doing kind of tele-writing together?
We all live at most 35-40 minutes away from each other, but we all we all converge together in one location for a live practice every once in a while. Usually before a show, we do 3 or 4 practices before a show after a while. But for this recording, like Mike said, we each wrote our own songs, and we kind of put them together. And we just picked and choose which songs would go great together, and from there we just elaborated on them. And because we kind of write skeletons for the violin parts, for example. We write the melodies, and then we kind of let Ben go from there. We're just hey man, just this is the idea. Just take it from where you want to go, and we'll tell you whether to whether that's what we want or whatever. But we all work together. We just kind of we criticize each other, and that's it. But usually, we usually get along, and we usually enjoy what we do, which is why we're in a band together, because we kind of all like each other's writing styles.
In the writing process, do you find yourself sometimes surprised with how another musician goes? Well, the direction they goes wasn't what you were intending?
Definitely. I know, this one track, Becoming, that I wrote, I started out a whole different direction, and then I brought it in, and then we kind of checked it out, and there was a major part in the middle that we're like, yeah, it's really not working out, and then we came out with like a new clean part that we really liked, and just that whole song changed from there because it took it to a whole new direction. So it just throw away everything else, and now I'm very happy with how it came out. And we're very open writers. We're not afraid to the song's not your baby, so we're like ready to kill that baby and like start over. No.
We kind of we sometimes let songs sit for a while and say, hey, I like it now, but let's see like a couple weeks from now we listen to it again, it's like I don't feel the same way. There's something missing from this song. There's something that we should change probably. So yeah, we're always criticizing.
Some songs have gone through multiple revisions, and then there was a couple songs that were barely touched at all. It just depends on how the structure, the core structure of the song came about initially. But yeah, some had multiple revisions, and some just kind of wrote themselves. So.
Well, as of September, it's too late to do any revisions with the album out. Are you all pleased generally with the early response from fans and critics?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, we were overwhelmed with the response so far, and we're very happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We noticed like an uptick in people listening to us, and that's always like humbling. So yeah, like we're always going to keep writing this music regardless, but it's kind of encouraging to see people actually like respond positively.
Yeah, we really like the way when a lot of really good critics kind of tear it open and analyze it and read the lyrics and go back and explain exactly what we were thinking, and you read that like, holy crap, they get it. So it's.
You like some criticism. You like them looking closely at the music.
Absolutely.
I mean, as fans, we do it ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like pretty interesting to see it happen to your own pieces,
Now, it's interesting to me on our podcast, The Great Metal Debate, we debate metal and genre questions, all that. When I think about folk or Viking metal, I mean, that encompasses bands like Amon Amarth. I just saw Ailstorm last month, bands that are apples and oranges to what you guys are doing. When you think about all those different genres and influences, do you think at some point it makes sense to just talk about metal? Or do you think it is better to have some guardrails on what's considered within the genre?
Yeah, I always have that kind of like that conversation with a lot of people, and honestly, I think that keeps it interesting when it's like you kind of like can tell the subgenres apart. Like you're not gonna like recommend like a band like Brutal Truth to somebody who's into like Bathory, like later era or something like that, or like Windfaerer or something. Like it's a kind of cool way to like direct tastes. Like if somebody's into everything, then yeah, it's fine. Like we're into everything. We'll listen to like grind and like brutal death and jazz.
And part of the difficult thing about being into everything these days is just how much music is out there. Do you ever feel like, man, I wish everyone could hear my music, but I know we're just small fish in a big sea?
Yeah, we feel like that a lot. Like, and even as a fan, I get overwhelmed myself, and like going on Bandcamp, going on Spotify, and there's just tons of material constantly bombarding me. And honestly, I rely a lot on like Discover music and kind of algorithms to determine, like, show me new stuff that I don't know. So, you do find a lot of cool stuff that way. So, hopefully the algorithm like picks us up along the way too.
Well, to feed into that, always curious talking with bands from other parts of the nation or the world about their local metal scenes. Are there any metal bands from your area, New Jersey area, that the rest of the world doesn't know about yet but should listen to?
There's a lot, and a lot of different genres too, and I would recommend, not in New Jersey, but PA guys, Dumal. They play like really great black metal band. Wolfcloak, and with Dumal and Wolfcloak, we did a split with them, and they play really really awesome black metal bands. There's Gallery from Elizabeth, from our town, our hometown. There's also cool grind, death grind bands like Scuzz, and there's doing bands like Sunrot from Jersey, and they're always playing shows. There's a very active scene.
You just ruined my weekend. Now I'm going to have to look up all those bands and listen to them, man.
I'm wearing an Outer Heaven shirt right now. They just got signed to Relapse. They're an awesome band. And not a little shameless plug right now. I'm in another band called Replicant, and I play like dissonant death metal stuff. Yeah, so
well, starting to wrap up with you guys, after this Alma Northeast tour is complete, what's up next for Windfaerer, closing out the year and moving into 2019?
Well, we're definitely going into a writing phase. We're definitely going to be open to play shows, as often as possible, but also focus on new material, and again, taking it to wherever the next step is.
Whoever's willing to host us, have us, if it's, a day's drive or half a day's drive, we're willing to make the trip. And we absolutely love it.
Definitely looking to play more of this album live for folks.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, the songs are all written in a way that we can play it live, so that's definitely something we want to keep doing, is playing live shows.
It was the final step, per se. We came together and just, the writing itself was really done. All the songs were structured, but we just played it together again and again, and then little bits came out, fun parts
and little things like that.
Like all the little bits came out, and that just, I think, brought it to life in a kind of a live setting a little bit more, and then we were happy to play it just as it is in the recording live.
We want to play more shows. So.
That's just a bit, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, finally, what is the best way for fans to purchase music and merchandise from Windfaerer, including the new album, Alma?
So you could always primarily go to our Bandcamp, bandcamp.com/Windfaerer. Or if you want to if you're in Europe or anywhere outside of the U.S., you can get the vinyl from Avantgarde Music. They're Bandcamp, and they're a big cartel. They have the Alma vinyl and the Alma Digipack. There was a delay in the Digipacks, and we should be getting them within the next upcoming weeks. So we'll have them up on our Bandcamp soon. But
we have also Alma cassettes through Folkvanger Records, who I met also through my side project Afar, who he put out my recording also on cassette, and just an excellent guy, and we're happy to be working with Folkvanger too. He's done a lot for us. So you can get the cassette through the Folkvanger Bandcamp as well.
Yeah, I don't have any side projects to plug in, but also you can just come. You can just come to one of our shows. We have merch here. You can just come say hello.
Maybe the best way to do it. Buy it from you guys directly.
I hate shipping shit.
Well, guys, my first time to see you all live this evening. Really looking forward to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
so
very
much
much
for having us.